All right. Peter Colgan is a past president of our club and is currently the president of the Mad River Valley Rotary Club in Waitsfield, Vermont. At 66, Pete, you revealed your age like that. Pete is one of the younger members of his club and was therefore deemed qualified to move the club's fundraising online during the pandemic. He's a resident of Lowell, but he and his wife Susan spend most of their time in Vermont. A retired medical device marketer, Pete has a part-time gig selling assisting hands home care franchises in Eastern Massachusetts and Vermont. He's also active on his town's conservation commission. Welcome, Pete.
Hi, thank you. I'm going to share my screen here.
It works.
Hey, can you guys see that?
Yep. A black screen that says you're sharing. There you go.
There you go.
We good?
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the public speaking tips I learned is you should really find a way to offend your audience with the title slide. And actually, it takes one to know one when it comes to being dummies. So as evidenced by the fact that, I was asked if I wanted to be secretary of the Bedford Club, you know, in a persuasive way by Bob Cassidy, I think it was. I don't know who set the hook. And cluelessly, you know, I said yes, and we know how that goes, and you end up being the president. But to fall for that trick twice, proof that I'm a dummy. But actually, that is not the real title of the presentation. It's online fundraising for amazing Rotarians. And I will say that I'm grateful to Joni Mitchell for this song lyric, "You don't know what you've got till it's gone." And now being associated with another amazing but very different club, I just have such an appreciation for the Bedford Club and the depth of expertise and the energy and the engagement, and I guess the Bedford version of what it means to be a Rotarian. You guys, you got it good. And part of the reason it's so good, of course, is because of each of you. And that's the true for any club. But as I'm engaging here in the valley, we call it, I am moving this club, and I'll talk a little bit about it briefly, closer to what the Bedford Club is. And change isn't easy. It isn't easy for our club, and I'll share a little bit about that. So, as Dawn said, when we left, I sold the house to an amazing couple, Al and Diane, and we bought a house in Lowell. And the reason for that, you know, we were able to move to Vermont when Susan retired from her teaching job. So, but she was actively tutoring, had a little of a tutoring practice, and we were down here weekly, pretty much. And we used this place in Lowell, which we purchased with the help of an amazing realtor. Anyway, so we use that as our jumping off point. And Susan is down there as we speak because she's not given up her hairdresser in Burlington. And I'll be coming down tomorrow. We're going to go see a Billy Strings concert. I forget where it is, the Wilbur, I think. But anyway, so as far as the IRS is concerned, and Joel, we're keeping this just between us, our primary residence is Lowell. Susan's pension and my Social Security are taxed if we declare our homestead in Vermont. But anyway, we're living in two states and loving it. Vermont, I'm right near Sugarbush Ski Resort, for those of you who may know where that is. It's southeast of Burlington by about 50 minutes. And it's really ski heaven between that, Mad River Glen and Stowe which is about 40 minutes north of here. It really is an amazing place if you're a skier. And whether or not you're a skier, if you've ever had a Lawson's Sip of Sunshine, which you now can get in Wegmans, people used to stand, including my wife, used to stand in line on Tuesdays at 9 to get the limited, bottle run of Lawson's Sip of Sunshine. And they've been amazingly successful and built their tap room and expanded brewery about 5 minutes from my house. So between that and quite a few other craft beer places, it's a pretty happy place. But the best thing about it is this community. And I have an example for you. So right on Main Street, at the intersection of Bridge Street, which is the covered bridge that crosses the Mad River, right in downtown Waitsfield, there was a house fire. And it turns out that the gentleman who lived there, George Pock, very limited means. I think he was living mostly in his car. I'm not quite sure of all the details, how the house fire happened. But anyway, it burned to the ground quite spectacularly. And George was homeless. And he's a man with very he's a kind of a hermit, financially distressed, as many people in the rural areas of Vermont are. And he was homeless. Within a day, a GoFundMe showed up, and we had something similar in Bedford. I'm going to forget her name. She's indigenous origin, Fox. Yes, we did something similar in Bedford. Anyway, it was determined that we could collectively clear the lot, get it fixed up for electricity and plumbing, which it wasn't, before get him a tiny home. There it is being installed. And so this was just an example. George was dumbfounded. He was the only one in the valley who was dumbfounded, because stuff like this happens all the time. And people depend on each other when there's not many of you and winter's long. And sometimes, 1 year is tougher than the next. And there's a real sense of interdependence and community here. And Rotary is a essential part of that. And if we say there's a helping network, there's an organization called the Mad River Valley Community Fund that is mostly paid into via donations from second homeowners who tend to be wealthier out-of-state people. So there's the community fund, there's the Rotary. Our budget is about 60 grand a year. We'll go into that a little bit. There is the Interfaith Council that makes about 20 grand a year recycling cans and bottles. And then the newest member in a huge way to this philanthropy supporting financial support group of organizations is Lawson's, the beer maker. They pay their people a living wage, tips are not allowed. And when people buy beer or merch at their tap room, they're offered the opportunity to provide a tip, which really is a donation to a charity that has been selected for that month. And the selected charities get about $25,000 or $30,000 check at the end of every month. So they've become a huge part of the philanthropic support of the Valley. It's just a really special place because of the nature, because of the outdoor recreation, but mostly because of how it feels. So our club has been homeless. All the restaurants closed. We're about 55 members now, growing at a rapid pace because you just decide you want to grow your membership and stuff happens. People are asking other people to join the club. We meet in the basement of this church right here, but you can't call it that. It's the first floor and it's the village meeting house. And we just moved from a tent that was adjacent to a restaurant called Toast and Eggs And we moved into this, and it's being catered by Toast and Eggs. We just couldn't find a place that could support a group as big as ours without asking an arm and a leg. I mean, a breakfast is $20 still. And a lot of our members are sticker shocked at that. But we're happy now to have heat and a roof over our heads. And the club is mostly focused on the local community. A lot of people joined because they want to make friends and engage in the community, and that's among the reasons I was eager to move into the Rotary Club here. But they're really not connected the way the Bedford Club is with the district and with the bigger global world of Rotary and the impact that we have. So in my year as president, besides managing where we're going to meet, which really been a distraction, I'm trying to nudge the club into awareness of and participation in the bigger community that Rotary engages in. So we have traditionally and still 4 major fundraisers. I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm not going to talk about it other than this, but it's something to consider. We have of our about 60 grand that we raise every year, 30 of it comes from the corporate sponsors. Wow. And the deal that an enterprising Rotarian, came up with quite a few years back now is that we'd like to come to you, business communities, once a year, ask for a donation, and then we won't bug you the rest of the year. And companies are grateful for that. And we have a couple of $1,000 donors, a few $500 donors, and some people just give $50. But it's a way to stay engaged with the local business community, and it's a significant part of our fundraisers. So we also do a golf tournament, which is specifically targeted towards one charity that we've selected. This year it was the Vermont Adaptive Ski and Sports, which is an organization that takes people with physical disabilities, blindness, no limbs, and gets them out skiing and canoeing, and it's just an amazing group. So the other 2 fundraisers are a duck race and a restaurant raffle. And the duck race works by asking people to adopt a duck. They're $5 for one, $20 gets you 5. And it's a big lottery. So we get about 3,000 ducks, we pour them into the Mad River, and the hardware to make all this happen is pretty funny. It's like 2x4s, and you constrain the ducks, and the ducks go through a funnel at the end, and the winner gets $1,000, and there's other cash prizes. So that's the first one. That's done Labor Day weekend. The restaurant raffle is underway as we speak, and we ask restaurants to donate gift certificates, and people buy chances to win one of them. Last year was an exception. We did it using this online platform I'm going to explain to you, but the club bought the gift certificates because the community was so hard hit by COVID, which was a great and appreciated move. And this year we're back to having received donated gift certificates. But so these 2, the duck race and the restaurant raffle, lend themselves perfectly to the online approach that we're going to take. And I'll just say that this is not going to be a tech support, how to make the website work to set this up, or even what's the best platform to use. I think it's more going to be about how do you make an online fundraising event successful, and we'll see how I do. So this is Mihurons. It's our local grocery store that conveniently is attached to the liquor store. And this is how we would sell tickets. You'd stand out there. That's a little list of charities that we have supported over the years. You wear the Rotary vest, and skiers are coming in for their Friday night beers, and locals are coming up for the, the regular victuals. And we'd sell $5 or $10. Every once in a while, we'd sell a quack pack, we called it, which is a 5 ticket for $20 thing. And that's how we did it. And then, of course, like everyone else, this became impossible with COVID. Our club has got a lot of seniors in it. They weren't comfortable, and frankly, it just didn't make sense. Certainly last year and this year as well. So our club, and many people faced with these same challenges would say, okay, well, we're just not going to raise funds this year. And my sense from a little of the chatter I saw is that this was what happened in Bedford. We just didn't raise money. And I just remember being in a board meeting and there was all this wringing of hands and, well, we can't do a fundraiser this year. And I said, bull, yeah, we can. I had no idea how we would do it online, but it just seemed possible. And the happy end of the story is that it was more than possible. And we were more successful online than we were standing in front of me Hurons. So the first step is to pick a platform. Christine, what are you using for the scavenger hunt?
We're using Eventbrite.
Okay, Eventbrite, very popular. Lots of events are run with that. That's a really good one. We chose one called Rally Up. And, so you can pay other people who have deep expertise. I'm not that guy to help you decide what platform to pick. We went with this because a former president of our club had kind of kicked the tires of it, and we had a little bit of an idea. We're very happy with it. And our local Chamber of Commerce has now adopted the same platform for some of their fundraising. So it's been great. What you're looking at here is kind of the administrator's portal for the thing. And on the right, you'll see this is our golf tournament. We raised $1,200 via the platform and additional funds elsewhere. Then this is the duck race. We raised there's another couple $1,000s in addition to this, but $18K during this past Labor Day. And this thing, you can tell we've been doing this restaurant raffle for years. I don't know how long this graph, it looks like it was done in the 50s. But we've just kicked off our restaurant raffle, which we call Dinner for Two and Other Culinary Delights. So raffles, and as you'll see, the duck race really turns out to be another form of a raffle, really lend themselves well to this kind of approach. So whatever platform you use, and I've used Eventbrite for something, I can't remember what, but anyway, the point is they know how this works and they walk you through the entire process of setting up your event. And we found, I was a little leery that the way you get tech support with Eventbrite is clicking on a little chat bot in the lower right-hand corner, but very effective way. If I ran into a question, they have online support as you're building it. So these are the steps. I've already done this, but you define what kind of event it is. For the raffle, which is what we chose, you set it up, you design your page, you set up team fundraising, which we really only had one team. It was Rotarians, but anyway, these are the steps that the setup requires. And I know this is not easy to read, but these are the event structures that they have. So they have a raffle, they have a sweepstakes. This is like they call it a thon. You can do a phone-a-thon using this. You can just have an event like a barbecue or something like that. This is just asking for money. It's a crowdfunding application, not unlike the GoFundMe that was used for George Pock's burned down home. This is an auction. I don't know if you're still doing the silent auction at Breakfast with Santa. But this is an online version of that. And then this is just, you open the store and you have stuff to sell. So all of these are different ways that you can use this Eventbrite, this Rally Up platform to do your fundraiser. Okay, so the idea is, if I can do it, you can do it. It's built for dummies, and if you're feeling particularly dumb, there's tech support. It was really a very straightforward process to get the thing set up. Once you have it set up and it's underway, there's tools for being able to check, this is, that screen before there was edit the event. So you can go back and change the structure of it. You can check how your donations are going. Down here, it's view the members to see what sales are associated with various members. Again, not going into detail, but everything you need to see how the event is going in real time is available through this function. So, who do you think the number one salesperson was? Well, it was me. And I worked my butt off, but not really. And I'll tell you why in a later slide I was successful. And really anyone can do what I did. It's just like any activity in Rotary. Some people are really into it, and some people, for bandwidth reasons or whatever, they can't put the amount of effort in that other people have put in. But this is kind of what the top, so we had like 50 members. And so the top 10, we're making more than $400. It dropped off pretty quickly. We set a goal of $250 in sales per member. I'd say about half of the club got over that. So part of this process, I think, is setting realistic expectations and knowing that you're going to get, it's not even going to be a bell curve, right? It's going to be highly skewed to a smaller number of people doing most of the work, just how it always is with any kind of, volunteer activity. So the fundraisers that you've done in the past are not available. Is it the panacea? Is it going to save the day? So the reason that we went to it is that we could raise some money without any contact. Okay, so it sounds like the scavenger hunt is going to be that. And it is the reason that we switched. So people were comfortable giving us money without having to shake our hand. This is the most powerful multiplier of online sales in my experience with our club. So whereas before our target was people who would walk into the grocery store in the Mad River Valley. They were skier visitors and locals. That was it. The way this worked, and I was shameless in leveraging this, is you could send an email to someone in France, in Arizona. It doesn't matter where the potential donor is. And I wasn't surprised, but I'll say you would be surprised at how willing people are to support you if they understand what you're doing, if they're engaged in Rotary, and they want to support you. It doesn't matter that you're 10 states away from where they live. So, and this is the next most potent. I would say that these are orders of magnitude correct. Our average selling tickets at the Hurons was $8 a customer, something like that. People would buy 1 or 2 ducks. Our average sale with the duck race with the Rally Up platform was over $40. So and we all experience this. If someone wants to reach into your wallet, you're kind of like hesitant to let them have it. And it's a very real feeling of giving value, when you hand over a 20. It doesn't feel the same way if you're clicking on something and putting in your credit card. And people were just more willing to be more generous. Huge, impact results driving bit of human psychology that these kind of online platforms leverage. And the key to it all is how you promote it. And it's cheap to promote these. I'll just give you some ideas of how we did it later, but the most important one is personal emails. I would send an email. I sent out about 100 emails to people and raise $2,000. So you just send a brief email, tell a story, include the link to your specific page on the fundraiser platform, and people click it and they give you money. It's kind of like that. We have I don't know what to call it. It's not a listserv, but it's an email system called Front Porch Forum, where if you want to sell your snow tires, or you've lost your dog, or you've had a bear sighting, we have a lot of those. People post on Front Porch Forum, and when it hits something like 20 messages, which happens sometimes twice a day, it compiles them and sends them in an email. It's a hugely effective community communication device that we use. Facebook, huge source of funds as well. I'll show you some examples of that. We did, pay, put in a half-page ad. I think it was $300 in the local paper, kind of near the end. The platform is set up to enable you to text to people to get them the link. So key to the success is promotion, and promotion is inexpensive. So those are the pros. There's some stuff that you give up, though. The personal touch of looking someone in the eye, telling them what you do, letting them see your excitement about how you feel about Rotary and the work that we do. You don't have that. And I think we all miss that a little bit. But if the point of this, if you can get that across somehow in your email, and as a result of sending out the email, they give you money, but you also end up having a conversation with them by email. But you lose the personal touch. And this is huge. And, I remember the Bedford Club and who our members are. And, there are some people that are just intimidated by this stuff. It's not, they're of an age where this is not how they're used to communicating. They maybe don't have a lot of email addresses of friends and family. And, people don't want to be embarrassed by the fact that they're not comfortable with the technology. And I can't remember who it was who kind of managed the Bedford Club's transition to, you moved to Club Runner, is that right? But I remember that this was very off-putting and the technology was kind of scary. And so what did she do? Help me out. Who was that?
That was Ginny.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you had these, let's sit down, bring your laptop, and we'll walk each other through it. And techniques like that absolutely are essential in getting engagement from maybe those people who aren't quite as comfortable with the technology. So for the platform, and because you're collecting fees online, I'm going to there's different ways that you can pay for it. You can just choose in Rally Up to pay, I think it's 7.5% to Rally Up. That's what they get. And then you also have the credit card processing fee. We use Square. So it was close to 10%. But that's the price that we were willing to pay, and our take-home results exceeded anything that we did. And we had, printed ticket expenses and other expenses from the old way of doing it. So it was by far a win, but you need to get over the fact that you're giving away 10 cents on a dollar. So this is I think one of my last slides. It's got a lot in it, but to make an online fundraising transition, it's a change, right? It's new. It's stuff that we all resist new things. And this was our changeover dinner. It had nothing to do with the fundraiser, but it was a picture of me talking to the club, so I put it in there. You really need to ask people to trust you. And the person who's running it, there's a inclination to go, oh, well, let's get the younger members. They're all Instagram savvy and they're perfect for this sort of thing. And we tried to train. We've got a couple of young members that we recruited from Cabot Creamery. It's just down the road from us. And they're too busy, like, with their kids. So it's a fine line, but choosing a leader who's able to, of course, communicate enthusiasm, but to get people comfortable with the idea is a really important part of the process. You can be very transparent about it. And despite whoever that is, let's say they're almost as good as I am at this job. There you go, I said it. There's fear and inaction, and it's gonna happen, and it's okay. There are some people that just are not wired for this, and that's fine. It's just, I don't know, one of the things that Rotary taught me is that stuff works out. No matter how chaotic it seems at the beginning, if you're the organizer, always works out. So, we scripted out everything. Not that we expected people to read the script, but it creates a starting point, and it helps people understand, oh, so this is how you do it. And I know you can't read this, and I'm not sure why it's grayed out. It doesn't really matter, but it starts within the platform itself. And this is a standard email that once a member, a Rotarian, is added, uploaded into the system as somebody who's going to be selling ducks in our case, there's a standard email that they get. That's how it begins. Can't read this either. The point is not the words, but this is a walking through. This is how you do it. You click here. If they're using a credit card, you do this thing. If they're writing a check, you do this other thing. It's really important to script it out. And as someone who's teaching other members how to do it, you really learn the system better yourself if you actually have to write it out and explain it to someone. So it has the benefit of walking people through what they have to do and increasing your understanding and confidence by having to write it out. Like I said, promotion is the most important. So 2 years ago, I think I sent my email to a number of Bedford Rotarians. I don't think I sent any to you guys this year. But this is what my email looked like. You'll recognize the yellow duck branding. It's on everything that we've done. But like I said before, just direct personal emails with a link to get them to the site is far and away the most effective method for getting people to give you money. Facebook was huge also. So this is the setup, or I guess this is the result of creating a Facebook event. So a Facebook event just is telling people who know you on Facebook, that there's an event and it's on this day. And if you want to buy tickets, it's how it's set up. You can put in the link for to take them to the rally outside. Not only, creating an event, but then our club has a Facebook page that, has a little bit of traction in the Valley, people who look at it, and giving people progress reports. It's coming. Here's a picture of our duck sorting party. We have to make sure that all 3,000 ducks have an actual plastic duck with a number on it. And, we start with them all out of order and they end up being in order. And we identify the missing ones. Anyway, we kind of engaged the community in the process of bringing this to them. The first year, we actually live streamed the actual duck race. And this year, the cable company, there was no Wi-Fi near the river site where we did the event. So we got them to donate portable Wi-Fi so we could live stream it. This year, we just videotaped it and put it on our Facebook page shortly after. But anyway, Facebook was by far the best social media platform for us. And then for you, the Bedford Minuteman and the Citizen, they are hungry for happy, positive content. We're eager. We wrote, stories for them along the way that built the, helped them understand the progress. Front Porch Forum, I don't think there's a equivalent to that, but again, just having people put it out there and give people as many opportunities to see that we're having a duck race. And eventually they say, right, it takes 7 exposures to an idea before someone's willing to take action. So you want it in the paper, you want it on Facebook, you want it in the emails. And after they've seen, we also had a physical presence. So after 7 times, they'll be willing to support it. So this was the half-page newspaper ad that we did. It looks exactly like this, which was a very effective tool. These are business cards. And on the back of the business card was the QR code if they wanted to scan that. It's a number that you can text to if you want. Anyway, just having a physical card present was a nice way to support it. And then we tried this. People were used to seeing a Rotarian with a vest on. Well, we did a little plywood cutout and put it by the grocery store. It didn't work out very well. It kept blowing over. But people thought it was cute. And then this year, we were able, in the late summer, things had calmed down with COVID enough, and it was outdoor. We have a farmer's market every Saturday, so we were able to sell tickets as well. And it was just a return to normal a little bit that felt really great for us. And then I've already really kind of made this point, but providing updates in real time as you're creating the event, as your fundraising is progressing, and your customers for this, your target audience for this. For us, we really wanted to engage with our sponsors. We hadn't done a good job of that in the past. And every time you send them out, somebody's going to reply. I had some great conversations by email with people that we never engage with other than taking their sponsorship check. So, and keeping the members apprised of how we're doing. And of course, people who have already bought a duck or a raffle entry, we want to encourage them to encourage their friends to do the same. So leadership, energy, and fun are all critical aspects of it. This is what the duck race looks like. It's just insanity. And you could probably do it with in the Shawsheen. I don't know. The Mad River is in late summer very wide and pretty shallow. But 3,000 ducks go through, and at the finish line, by this right here, we've got kids standing there with trash barrels that have holes in the bottom of them to collect the ducks. Whoever's leading the event, you basically, it's like anything else. You model what works. Here's the email that I use. I'm happy to help you modify it for yourself if you would like that help. Directly helping members, though, people are afraid to ask, or it's not even necessarily afraid to, but they don't want to, or they don't. So you ask. It's just like getting someone to sign up to be the head of the social committee. Is it still Nat?
It's always Nat. So Pete,
Whatever the job, you ask someone directly, and they're more willing to respond. And then, this last little bit under leadership is just critical. Listening to what members' concerns are, there will be them. Being empathetic and aware that, this isn't for everyone, and for some people, it's kind of scary. And we got some people who started out completely befuddled, threatened, feeling incompetent, who did fantastic job selling it once they got into the flow and had a little push start, and then making it fun.
So Pete, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to stop you for a second because we're over time and I just want to end the meeting, but we'll just finish up with some questions from you when you.
Great.
I just want to be mindful of everybody's time. I know some people have to zip out.
Of course. I was just closing with come visit us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Pete. Do you have time for questions?
absolutely.
Okay, does anybody have any questions before I jump in with my questions?
Well, you already answered Jackie's question about how much Rally Up's pay is.
Yeah, they're cut. Yeah.
I'm trying to figure, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. There we go.
Yeah, there, for any of those online platforms, there's always going to be like multiple fees because you
Sure, it's good to know what the ballpark is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm very curious about using ducks because that seems very environmentally unfriendly.
Well, we've had that question, and what if people believe that the ducks escape down the river? There's never been an escape. And those ducks that we use, they're probably 15 years old. So
Well, Bob's not here, so I know Bob had some horror stories about when, I guess, the Bedford Club tried.
Yeah.
Still starting to
Still stuck from the short sheet.
yeah.
That would be concerning to me, but I mean, it's a cute idea, but.
We did it one time at Lane's,
It was a shame.
David Lane Pool. And we had some contraption that we put them in, like a chute. And they had heats with a bunch of them in there. I remember that's how they did it. I don't remember how much money we made, but that was like when I first joined the club.
So
That's how we did it.
We've done it before. Good fun.
So it was down in the river, it was like a trough, a long trough, and we just put them in there with water. And the first one that got to the bottom was the winner of that group. And they had all the group winners, they put them in the next one.
Oh, okay. So,
Uh,
yeah.
That's all I really remember.
And the point of this, though, is not to say you should do a duck race.
Yeah, no. I've just been curious every time, I know this is a Rotary thing to do the duck races. I've seen it in the Rotary magazine, so I'm just always wanted to know why ducks. Because definitely, given that the environment is such an area of focus now, that seems not environmentally friendly, but.
Environmentally friendly than using real ducks.
Sure, Linda.
Real ducks, oh my God.
Yeah. That's true, that's true.
Yes, fly away, that's the
So
end
Nat
of
has a
your
question.
fundraising.
Pete, thank you very much. Great presentation. It's really hard to keep a good Rotarian down.
Jim,
I have a comment and a question. The
Yeah.
comment is your skills in presentation and structure of how to go about something remain absolutely amazing. And you've
Thank
just
you.
climbed 3 more steps in my ladder. I really appreciate your presence with us today, Pete. I really do. The question is, please tell me that was not a fire truck going by that fire. That wasn't a gasoline truck going by that fire.
No. And we have water tankers as well.
That was a water
That's what
tanker.
it was.
Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
All right, Linda?
Yeah, I was going to say thank you, Pete, because you made this really, less scary, you know, than I thought it would be, having an online kind of a thing. And, you know, we don't have to do a duck race, if we feel, but I mean, we could do other things with this, the way he has outlined this.
You know, I remember geez, it hasn't been that long that I've been gone, but what's the restaurant right underneath Mark?
Ken,
Ken's Deli.
Ken's New York Deli. Right, yeah, and you know, just you could sell chances to get gift certificates there. I don't know. You know the raffle that you do at Flatbread that started, by the way, in the Mad River Valley. The very first one is here. You could do them online.
Yeah, the Wellesley Club is doing something similar to, you know, what you just suggested. They're having a raffle. Is it a raffle? So you buy tickets to win, and I think they're described as absurd amount of restaurant gift cards. Like I think you get $100 gift, $100 gift cards or something. It's something bananas. You know, some are donated, some that they purchase, so you get a chance to win.
Yeah.
And there's that many restaurants in Wellesley, I guess, but you know, we have fewer restaurants in Bedford, as you know.
But you don't have to limit it. You don't have to limit it.
right, Burlington, Lexington.
Yeah.
I have a question, and it's, I guess, directed maybe to Joel. Having the way our bylaws are written, to have a raffle, and people are donating money, does it have to be for a specific cause? It can't be just for the Rotary Club. We have to really have people, if they want to get a tax deduction for this donation.
It has to go to our foundation. It doesn't matter what it's
Go to
for.
the foundation,
It
but
can be,
doesn't it have to have a
No.
cause?
no, just to our foundation, because
Well,
we're,
why would people just want to
Well, no, isn't that something to
donate
do
to
with?
a generic foundation? They would need a reason to want to donate.
well, that's the advertisement.
I think
I'm not an accountant, and we did have we had a Zoom meeting with Joel a while back to speak to our club about the foundation. But basically, a raffle, as our accountant has made clear, because you're essentially getting some value in terms of the probability that you'll win, it's not tax deductible anyway. People who are buying these raffle tickets are not looking for a tax deduction. If they are, you can just write a check to the foundation.
Yeah, trying to verbalize that and failing miserably. Yeah, that's basically, if you're getting something in return, you know, that part
I
is
mean,
not.
like if you play in a golf tournament, you pay $150 to play. You're supposed to get a letter from the organization saying what the value of your meal was, the golf, and that 150 maybe $25. But usually spelled out, just close in the ballpark. But you have to say that you're even good services in exchange for your contribution.
Totally understood about that.
All right. Anybody else, any questions?
The challenge of saying,
I think,
like what you just said about, well, how are you gonna get people to make a donation just to the foundation?
Yeah.
If you say what it's for, you better damn well use it for what you're saying it's for.
Exactly.
Else you
That was
can
my-
get in a lot of trouble.
That was what I was getting.
So what we've done in the past, we've said the money is used for such, some of these are some of the